Hi, Tokyo Tops! It feels like it has been a while since we're filming together.
For sure.
So a lot of people have been asking on the comment section, how do I meet Japanese boys?
And that's what I want to know too. I want to know how you meet Japanese boys.
Do you want a Japanese boyfriend?
Yeah.
So here are my 5 tips.
Your 5.
My 5 tips. Okay guys, it's not like something revolutionary. I think you probably click on the thumbnail thinking that like, oh, we're gonna learn some like new thing. No,
but you're not gonna learn anything, so you just shut it off right now.
My first one, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
I think is still download a dating app like Nine Monster or Grindr.
Do you think that that actually leads to relationships?
I think so. So here is another thing. Like I know a lot of people on Grindr are like looking for like play only. But I think like you just have to change your mindset. Start having genuine conversations with people.
まさか天使ですか?
Like something very more creative, right? Like because I feel like for a lot of situation, it's basically hi, like what you're looking for. Are you top or bottom? Like people want something very quick. I'm used to having those like very quick conversation and like want the result like right away. Relationship is more complex that you have to go in with like deeper connection. So just don't try to jump into people's pants right away.
Have you had a boyfriend you met on a dating app?
All of them.
All of them. Well, there you go.
And I would say like all of them, I went out for dinner first and like meet for a couple of times without like directly jump on the action. Yeah, on them. Only maybe one exception. We went to dinner together. いい感じになって and like our feet were like touching under the table. And I don't remember the exact conversation, but we talk about like 今度なんかしようねみたいな感じ because it's getting like kind of like hot. And I was like, 今でもいいけど
Yeah.
So like, because his house is like so walking distance like to the restaurant.
I
So we
see.
just like went to his place. Yeah. And I really liked him. Like, you know, like let me share my story how did I get him, right?
Okay.
I'm like, I just really like you. Can you be my boyfriend? If you don't like me, you can dump me.
Yeah, that's what you always say to people. So you have like 2 competing things here. You say like, oh, take it slow, it's okay. I'm just gonna meet them and go on a couple dates before. But then you have this other side, which is just like, I'm fine to make it really quick. And like, you can figure out if you want to date me after. Let's be boyfriends now.
In Japan, a lot of people are very shy and passive, regardless if they're being top or bottom.
Or gay or straight.
There's a very slight chance they're gonna approach you.
Yes, I would say that's
So
true.
you kind of have to like take the initiatives, right? Like,
Is that part 2?
no, that's still in the dating app.
I feel like that should actually be its own part 2. It doesn't matter whether you go to a bar or use a dating app or something like that. I think you do have to be the initiator.
But don't be aggressive because Japanese people always like run away if you're too aggressive.
That's very true.
You have to give them some space as well.
Yeah, and I do think in general as well, especially if they believe that you are a foreigner, they might additionally hesitate because they don't know whether you speak Japanese, whether you're here visiting, whether you're like, there's a whole bunch of things that I think make it even harder. I also get told a lot when I talk to people after, I don't really know how to explain it, but the question is always, oh, you like Japanese people? Do you ever get told that?
ない。
Hold on, yes, I'm here. Yeah.
早く言ってくれればいいのに。
And it gets kind of annoying because it's the same question over and over, and it always makes me think like, getting asked that question so much makes me wonder whether, you know, these people who are wanting to reach out might stop themselves early or stop themselves from reaching out. So it's another reason why when I'm out, I'm like, oh, there's so many extra reasons why I need to make the move or show initiative.
Yeah, talking about like showing interest in them, like recently I'm like starting to practice body touch.
Body touch is very important.
Yeah, very important. I feel like a lot of people like don't know how to body touch.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make a new episode like share about like our skills, you know.
Feet under the table. But yeah, no, I think that's important in any
body touch,
in
right?
any culture,
Yeah.
In any country. But it really doesn't happen here as much. I think touch is not as common even in like platonic relationships. I was in Korea a couple of weeks ago. Everyone was touching each other all over the place. It just shocked me. so much because
Really?
it was just such a flip. Like, again, I know that Korea's like that and friends are always like holding hands and hugging each other and stuff like that. But it just, boom, it seems like such a contrast to my daily life here. Now, a bunch of you are probably going to say in the comments, like, I see people holding hands or like this and that in Japan. As it happens, but it's not that much.
I think Japan has a between in-person space.
Yeah,
where,
it's a bubble sort of thing.
距離がちょっと遠い.
So then question, do you think that you're invading someone's bubble then if you're trying to go and say like that?
Well, you
body
have to
touch? You have to do something.
空気を読んで
Yeah,
まず
yeah.
Well-
They're like this, like or when you do it, I guess it's a really good way to get an answer quickly. I've touched
Yes,
people like this
yes.
and they're like, and then I'm
And
like,
then
okay.
you need to move on.
Yeah.
The feet under the table.
Yeah.
I think I have had a couple successful stories. Another one was like actually went to the Hatemba together.
Oh, I remember this story.
You remember?
And then you did the showbosha show.
Oh my god, you still remember?
Yeah.
So we were, using our feet.
Footsie. So footsies. So maybe this is number 3. Practice.
That's not number 3. We're still on number 1.
Footsies.
We're still on the dating apps, Anyways, the second one, I know it's super cliche, is to go to Nichome. Go to explore Tokyo gay nightlife is another way to meet guys. And I have some recommendation for you. Arty Farty, Dragon Man, Ego Blue, Ego Tokyo, Aero Cafe, period. Just go to these. Yeah, you don't have to consider... Oh, King.
Yeah, I'd add King. And what I want to say here to add on that is I do actually run into a lot of guys who there's a judgment around Nichome, I think. There's a whole section of guys that don't go to Nichome.
Yes.
They actively avoid Nichome, and they almost look at the people who go to Nichome as kind of like, I guess we would consider them scene queens. Like it's a negative, image. But at the same time, for me, for instance, I kind of don't want to meet those guys who never go, because they hold that judgment there where like drop your prejudice in the area, go, like they have this image built up in their head. For me, I'm going to want to at some point go and have drinks with my friends and bring my sukina hito with me. And if they're gonna be like that, like, oh, I don't want to go to Nichome, that's not gonna work for me.
There are more than 400 different bars in Nichome, but I think the 5 I mentioned above are usually people like foreigner. It's very foreigner friendly.
Yes.
And guys will be more into like foreigners, especially if you're non-Asian.
Yes.
I mean, if you're Asian and you speak Japanese, of course you have like multiple other options. For example, like one of my favorite is like Mr. Tokyo. Like the guys went there were like really hot. I don't know the recent situation, but it's kind of like the very ideal like Japanese hot gay guys like usually go there. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, I don't want to meet those like gaijin chaser or gaijin hunters.
That's all you have.
No, but what is like, are you into like people who are not into you?
Yeah, that's the difficult part. That's the really difficult part.
Find your target audience.
Yeah. People show active interest in you, want to get to know you, are interested in your culture and your language, and that's a really special thing. But then of course it can go the opposite way, where it can get difficult when you run into people who their ex-boyfriend is your friend. I had a date with someone, I'm not gonna say who this was, that I was interested in, and I had 2 fucking guys come over and tell me like, be careful, that one. 2 in the same night, because like it seemed to them that this guy was just sort of like going through all the foreigners in
catch them all
sort of thing. It's because I was having really good conversation with this guy, and I was like, yay,
Hold on, my image of gaijin hunter is like someone not interested in Japanese or Asian, like just only into Westerners, that's my image.
But they get a gaijin hunter image because it's not like if they just dated one foreigner for a couple of years, and then they broke up, and then they moved on to another foreigner, they wouldn't have many, many foreigners that they dated to get that image.
The third one, we haven't done it in a while, but like Goukon parties, do you think they work? Because we had a whole video about our Goukon experience, one of our earliest videos.
One of our first. And this kind of gets back to the app we're talking about, because a lot of these Goukon are advertised on Naimon. Someone will just privately sort of like create a Goukon party.
It was like a really like 20 to 30 guys.
People, yeah.
There.
And I think they
party.
like rented or booked or whatever some the event room in a condo. They had games like move around and talk to people and
Like 自己紹介, like I
Yeah.
think introduce yourself to the crowd.
we should do that again.
I remember the last Goukon, the guys were kind of aggressive, like in a good way. There were like 2 guys trying to talk to me. Or
Well, I
2 or
remember
3.
that. Actually, I was like moving away on the couch and you had like one on each side. They were like really like, I don't think you were into them.
I was in a relationship.
Oh, see, there you go. Why are you here? Go home. It's like when you're like going to the club and you're like dancing with people, they're like, I have a boyfriend. You're like, fuck it out. But I guess so far I haven't had much success. I don't think I have made any contacts that survived or went beyond the Goukon or the parties.
I feel like after Goukon, it's about maintenance. You still have to use all the tricks, like initiate, like where should we go next? You still have to do aftercare, you know? Next one is to join a gay friend group. Don't think about boyfriend as like immediate goal. Just meet more gay people.
That comes back to going out Nichome, I think. Nichome is a really great place to build up a group of friends. It is a bit awkward if you're like by yourself. It would be ideal if you're with like 2 people, but honestly, I believe that if you go to like Idol on a night that there's unlimited drink and you go there and after a couple of drinks, there's gonna be people around you to talk to. There are so many times where I catch someone saying something and be like, oh my God, or something like that. I've also had that happen where then people have wanted to, like, I'm gonna go now to this bar and they say, can I come?
Yeah.
That's how friendships are made, you know? Other ways would be what?
Meetup,
The app?
the app,
I've
or
never
the
used
platform.
that. I've never used that.
I heard like a lot of like there are language programs, like language exchanges. You know, there are some Japanese guys that are really into like talking to foreigners. Once you have your stable gay friend group, I think like sometimes the groups can like merge. A living example is me, because I'm a very introverted person. And Andrew is an E person for sure. I knew so many people through Andrew. You just have to have like one E friend. If you're a one I person like me, you just need to have an E person, and he will like take you out and introduce you to all the people. Talking about venues, I think like Nichome can be good. Or if you have very very high level of Japanese, I think like another bar I recommend is like Shinjuku Townhouse. A lot of people go there like to talk to people and make friends. Other venues, I made some friends at the pool party a couple years ago, like the Vita parties as well.
Vita actually is a good party. Yeah. I think someone actually told me they watched our video or whatever, they bought a ticket to go there and they made friends.
Another one is to join, you can join like a sports club.
That's actually quite interesting that you bring that up, because there is a group of friends who currently play badminton. Everyone's bringing new people. I was brought in after, you know, badminton finishes, people go for dinner together, and then they start sort of, hey, I'm gonna do like a housewarming party, or I'm gonna do like a hanami viewing, or I'm going picnic. And because they're added to the badminton chat, it just grows and grows and grows. And then when someone wants to sort of like hang out as a group, they post it there. It's very true. I still think you need that one friend though, in order to invite you into that sort of thing.
Like there are also other things, like I have heard like hiking clubs as well. So
hiking would probably be a good one too, yeah.
So that's all.
That's all of them? Oh, that's all of them.
Wait. Is there anything I want to talk about?
Nope.
So then I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna throw a little bonus question curveball at you. Do you think bathhouses are a good place to meet boyfriends?
No, I've never heard anyone met their love through bathhouse. After Hatenpa, I always feel like very shy and guilty. So like my heart is not open for like a genuine conversation, you know what I mean?
I don't know, I've had friends before, I've tried to make connections beyond that. I've had friends like kindly like chastise me at the end because they're like, you're not supposed to like, it's a rule, like you don't ask for, you know, someone's deets, essentially. I've never had a relationship through a bathhouse, but I've had good connections.
I don't think it's a rule that I shouldn't talk to anyone in Hatenba, but I was being told by one guy once before, it was like, そんなに話してる人いないよ,
Yeah.
But on the contrary, recently I went to Hatenba, there was a Japanese guy asking for my contact information.
Yeah, I think like I do that a lot. Like I do exchange it a lot. Yeah, I do exchange. So I think you can make connections there. I don't know how far they will go.
Well, because you already know like that person's slutty. How can you
You're slutty at these things, so how do you expect to be boyfriend material? Wow.
But I mean, even on the comment section, we have some people saying like, oh, you imagine you can get a boyfriend after you go to all these like slutty events.
Oh my god. Wake up, we're 2024.
Anyways, yeah, that's my kind of my personal tips to start looking for Japanese encounters or Japanese gay guys. Also, there are many other ways. I think a challenge for gay people is like we can't meet like very organically like straight people, because like a lot of people in Japan you can't really tell if they're straight or gay. Like it's less obvious. I feel like compared to other countries, like apps is basically like one of the only ways to do it, like most effective ways.
Yeah.
And recently I actually changed my habit a little bit, because before I kind of like very impatiently just being like, so what do you want? Like we're gonna
fuck or not?
Yeah, like like when we gonna meet, you know, like that leads nowhere. Like I don't think it's gonna create any deeper connection. So like just talk to people like they're a person, not a tool.
That's a good. I think you are going to get out of it what you put in. I mean, it's a very basic thing to say, but I think
but people don't know anymore.
Yeah, I think people just
like,
don't.
How many times you use on an app you say like hi, and the other person say hi, and end of the conversation.
I think like a lot of my conversations go hi, how are you? Good. There's no back and forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also you didn't try that much, you know, like from your description.
But
because
still,
you basically said how are you,
hi,
and they said
yeah,
good.
how are you? And then they say good.
And
would
you
expect,
want
I want
them
to say
but
how are you
no,
back?
Going back to my tip, you have to initiate.
Well, that's the thing.
You have to.
That's the thing that can get very tiring here in dating, because you want to see someone show interest back in you.
Okay, that's all. What do you think of my tips? I haven't been dating for like almost a year right now, being single.
You're gonna get on the apps again, going down to Nichome
am.
again?
だから最近大学生と話してるの。
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna meet him?
受験で結構さ、忙しくて、みんな最近。Also, meet young people. They're more pure.
Pure. Not when they figured out that you've been to body breath so much. Slut. Okay, bye.